Hello and welcomes back everyone. I'm Wolf here with even more Star Wars The Old Republic. Playing as Vaedren here, my Imperial Agent, and we are here back at Vaedren Space Dock. And we're doing another interlude part of the series. Now, if I remember... Perfect. We're here to find out another developing situation.
This is Vaedren Space Dock to Darth Malgus. Your strike team has arrived.
Then let us begin. Perhaps you have heard of Darth Ikaral, a great man of pure Sith blood, decorated by the Emperor and honored for his might. Ikaral lived like royalty a century ago, in a time when purebloods carried unparalleled prestige, and the Empire remained hidden.
I know about the red skin, but the history eludes me.
The Sith species interbred with fallen Jedi long ago. That ancestry marks a pureblood. They say the pure-blooded Sith left behind were wiped out when we left the Droman Kars and rebuilt our empire a millennium past. But Ikaral believed pureblood survived outside the empire, reduced to barbarism on forgotten worlds. 70 years ago, Ikaral left in search of these lost Sith, and never returned.
Now Ikaral is back from his 70-year journey. Why isn't that good news?
3 days ago, we received this message from Lord Senu at his fortress on the edge of known space.
It was an Imperial ship of outdated design. It jumped in system and began firing. Then the landing parties came. Purebloods dressed like savages, butchering my men. They're coming for me now.
That creature was not Sith. And an empire that calls such creatures Lord is not a Sith Empire.
For decades, men spoke of Darth Ikaral as a martyr. Now he has returned with a pureblood army, determined to murder the aliens now polluting the Empire.
Ikaral may believe in pureblood superiority, but how does wiping out aliens serve his cause?
There was a time when only humans and purebloods could become Sith. Ikaral sees the new ways as heresy. Darth Ikaral strikes at both Republic and Imperial targets. We have a location on his dreadnought, but it will not last. He must be destroyed before this vendetta causes irreparable damage. Only you are capable.
Ikaral's a 100-year-old Sith Lord with an army of followers. I'd appreciate any tactical advice you can offer.
I know little about his followers, but Ikaral will not expect an intelligence officer to pose a threat. That is your advantage. You have the coordinates of Ikaral's ship, the Red Reaper. Do this for the Empire.
Yeah, he won't expect us to be a threat. He's only a century-old Sith. A lot of experience. Probably a lot of Force training. Hopefully our companions on this activity can aid us in kind of making up for the kind of issue that we're gonna have here. I mean, yes, we managed to trap Darth Jadis, but I have a feeling that Darth Ikaral could be a bit more of a problem. Before we get started, I did grab a tactical. I grabbed viral elements. Our toxic haze, which is the ability that we use to drop in the AoE around us, spreads the effects of toxic blast. In addition, our lethal strike deals more damage to targets that are affected by toxic haze. Additional damage to all nearby targets. Okay, that's pretty good. So the idea is now we probably shouldn't start with lethal strike, even though it does do more damage while stealthed. What we may want to do. Let's have a look here. Yeah. What we may want to do is start off with a shiv. A toxic blast, corrosive dart, throw down our haze, then lethal strike. We want to try and spread both corrosive dart and toxic blast now with our haze. And then we'll see if Lethal Strike does do an AoE attack now, while the haze is active. That's the plan. That's what I'm hoping will work out. But, yeah, we'll do ourselves another Flashpoint. Nope, those are... Oh, no, that's alright. Uprisings are something that happens far in the future. I have never done an uprising. It's something I will have to look at once a certain expansion is complete. If they're still around, and hopefully they are. So, what the... Oh, these are uprisings again. God damn it. On, off. Wow, that's a lot of, flashpoints. Bump. And hopefully it is kind of like midday. We will, find some people to run this Flashpoint with us. I will likely go back to the crew skills vendor as well. Once we've completed the Red Reaper here, we will likely grab a few crafting crew skills to see if we can deconstruct some of the later equipment we'll be gathering rather than just selling it to a vendor. See if we can get some crafting materials, tech fragments. Tech fragments aren't really useful, it seems, apart from for buying tacticals or some cosmetic armor, which is far too expensive. At level 75, level 80 being the cap now, at level 75, the previous cap, you could buy level 75 armor, and there was an armor set bonus. So if you had 2 bits of the same armor set, say it was the armor of the aspiring champion, 2 sets of it might increase your health by 5%, or allow your poisons to last an extra 2 seconds. And then if you had 4 sets, 4 bits of the aspiring champion armor, you would have the first ability, and then you would have a second buff. Maybe your teleportation or holo transfers could have 2 stacks rather than 1. And then finally, of course, there was a bonus for having all 5 pieces of an aspiring champion armor set. So that was always, like, it was really good to have, but it was really expensive because it cost you something like 3,000 or 3,500 tech fragments, and at the time the cap was 10,000. So tech fragments were a good commodity to farm. Now at level 80, they've changed that. We haven't really talked about endgame gear yet, because we're not at the endgame. But at level 80, those armors don't... They exist, but they don't have the set bonuses anymore. The set bonuses have been removed. What they've done is, I believe it's with implants now. There are unique implants you can farm for. There was a quest you need to complete, and then you can purchase unique implants, which will give you certain buffs. I can't recall if I got one of those implants for Ava, but once we hit level 80, we could always come here to Viscount Space Dock, see if we have to do the quest again, because I think the quest was a pain in the butt to do. And if so, but we could also look at what implants Ava may have. A lot of the level 80 gear, I believe, is bound to legacy. So Visor and Ava, I believe, both have endgame gear, which I could remove and pass on to Vaedren here. And because we're using adaptive armor to give ourselves various looking outfits, it doesn't matter what the armor looks like, we just want the bonuses that the attributes that that armor would give us. That's the plan in any event. In the meantime, 3 more levels for the final jump in lethality. I'll probably switch back over to Sniper for our time on Voss, and then maybe switch back over to Operative for when we go to the world after Voss. That's what I'm considering right now. We are 8% accuracy? That doesn't seem right. Let's get ourselves... We have to board, I believe, an orbital station, which is docked with Darth Icarol's Dreadnought, the Red Reaper. We're automatically in combat somehow. Ah. You. Okay, get myself healed up. Remember, I need to blast and dart, then haze, if we can. We have... Oh, a sniper, a mercenary, and a marauder. Oh, we have a bit of a mix. Oh, so we just want to go straight in. Blast. Haze. Okay, our lethal strike is spreading to multiple targets. And, okay, we're getting on board the Red Reaper. We have our first boss here, Lord Curus. Okay. We need to get ourselves on board the bridge. That's likely where Darth Icarol is located. That would make sense. Oh. Oh, we have a cargo deck here. Is there a... I can probably... Oh dear. I suppose it doesn't... Okay. And up to the command deck. And we have our next boss here. Darth Icarol is not here. This boss switches between a red beam and a blue beam. You used to have to switch these power sources, and I believe it would adjust how powerful those beams were. I don't think it matters nowadays. So we are going to try and take control of the ship. Unfortunately, there is...
Speak only once. You are bold to venture aboard this ship, and you are a fool to seek confrontation. The Empire must be cleansed. It is the only way to glory.
Yeah, there's a secondary bridge. So we need to work our way through the Sith Sanctum. God, give me a moment. Give me a moment to put them to sleep. We have a lot of Sith in Kolto tanks. What is this? The cryogenics console. These are Sith Darth Icarol has collected. We can terminate life support or release them, or leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. Oh. But someone chose to overload it instead. I was gonna let someone else in the Empire make that decision. I don't think I can put them to sleep here. What I can do is drop this ray shield. Give me a second. Let's remind myself of how to do this. Around there. I don't think we can. Can we do this? Nah, maybe just. The next part. The Flashpoint demands a sacrifice. This Flashpoint always demands a sacrifice. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Oh. Level 76. Someone tends to always go flying off the edge. For once, it didn't happen. And here's Darth Icarol himself.
Face a true Sith Lord.
Oh. Icarol's chosen have awoken. You gotta send it over and then disable. Stop them from interrupt their shield. Interrupt the shields, please. My interrupt's on cooldown. There you go. Grabbing the ancient knowledge. Just the damage you take.
But Sith blood will prevail.
This is Darth Malgus receiving your signal. You may return to Viken Space Dock. The threat is ended.
There you go. The ship is now ours. We now may leave.
This is Viken Space Dock to Darth Malgus. Your strike team has arrived.
Oh, I forgot the quest auto completed. We didn't need to report our success. Oh, we're starting to get modifications. An item level 306 gear. 306 was the best gear you could get, like, I think the highest rating you could get at level 75. From doing basic flashpoints anyway. You're probably going to get a higher rating from doing operations and some of the harder mechanics of the game, but yeah, I think at the moment, I think it's like 328, 330, something like that. Either way, we do have some, those are better items all told. An even better blaster rifle. I might keep this one though. I do like it, how it looks. So the rest of that is vendor trash. Oh, we have plenty of things to store away.
I accept all forms of currency. Thank you for your patronage.
Let's get ourselves back on board the Phantom. And we might as well speak to our companions a little bit more.
I've just finished cleaning the fuel injectors to the sublight drive. You should notice a 0.00008% power increase.
Might as well speak to our companions in the order in which we recruited them once again. I did pick up, I think they mentioned I picked up some... I did pick up some tech fragments. Yeah, I did grab a few of these analysis modules. That's fine. Cleo! Seemingly people are hunting you down. People who you don't even recall having met. I believe that's the last thing you mentioned to me.
Hey, I know I've been busy, but when are you gonna buy me that drink?
Something going on? Or are you just feeling friendly?
Little of both. I know how you treat girls on missions. You see someone you want, you go after her and make her want you too. It's a fun game for a while, but we both can play better. You agree?
You're really not one for subtlety.
What's the point? So, drink or no drink?
No drink, Cleo.
Fine. You're not the only one who'll buy them.
So, yeah. That was certainly something. We'll leave her to consider maybe her next move after making a pass at us. Hello, Vector.
Last night, we ate our first ration bar since leaving the nest. We savored the flavor for 2 hours. We could taste every nutrient, every chemical compound, and trace of foil. Do you know what joining the Killiks does to a person's senses?
Should I be sending you on more nighttime missions?
We can't see into every spectrum, or smell poison under our nose, but our eyesight has improved. That does bring up something we want to discuss. How do you see our role as operative on your team?
I'm not sure what you're getting at.
Keeper described us as a covert assault agent. Our role as Dawn Herald gives us that capacity. We just don't know if that's the only reason we're here, or if it should be.
If there's information you have or aid you can provide, tell me. I'm still learning your talents.
So are we, in a sense. But, Agent, our whole life, we've been a diplomat. Whatever else we become, perhaps we shouldn't abandon that so readily.
Very well. I will let you to contemplate your role. Dr. Loken, how's your research coming along?
Cypher, I had the most delightful conversation with Master Vector. Did you... I'm getting a feed on my earpiece. One moment. I apologize. That's the third time this week one of my security alarms has gone off.
Where did you set up an alarm system?
I monitor all my safe houses as a matter of course. I have a few dozen around the galaxy. A precaution, really. I haven't needed them in years. Usually when an alarm goes off, it means a child has come exploring, or a rat has slipped through the ventilation shafts.
You're not going to double-check?
Hardly worth the bother. I really should dismantle the safe houses altogether. But old habits die hard. Besides, I hold out hope that I'll need to go to ground someday in one last exciting adventure.
Remind me not to underestimate you, Doctor. If we ever need a sanctuary...
You'll have whatever humble aid I can provide.
Let's speak to Dr. Loken just a little bit more. Why not?
Doctor, you wanted to talk.
Yes, and I'm terribly sorry to take your time. But I have a small request.
Oh?
To be frank, it's a bit of an embarrassment.
You have my undivided attention.
I told you before about my safe houses, how my intruder alarms have been going off. Well, I attributed it to local happenstance. I may have been mistaken. My safe house on Balmora exploded.
Any idea who among your enemies is responsible?
I could theorize regarding who did this and why, but truthfully, all I know is someone bypassed Imperial security to get inside. I'll need to see the safe house in person. I'll return as soon as I can.
You could be walking into a trap. Stay alert, Doctor.
And you. Well, I'm afraid the news is mixed. My safe house did, indeed, burn to the ground, along with 3 would-be assassins who were attempting to wire it with explosives. Apparently, my security triggered their bombs prematurely.
I assume they were trying to ID these people.
I did acquire genetic samples of the intruders. I'll be running traces shortly. One was a human male. The others, uncertain. Regardless, they used Imperial equipment and codes to get inside. Someone in the Empire wants me dead.
Supposing you're right, what do you intend to do about it?
The list of people with grudges against me is a long and varied one. It will be some time before I narrow it down. But I take comfort in the fact that I'm once again viewed as a threat. My days in retirement are over.
He seems rather happy about that. That someone still considers him a threat. Enough to send assassins. And he's a threat of someone in the Empire as well. Huh. Let's go speak to Reyna Temple. See how she's still settling in.
Sir, since our combat session went so well, I thought we might try something else. Lessons in interpersonal manipulation and information extraction. Lecture 1 entitled...
That is not the outfit I put you in.
Once they think they need you, they'll tell you anything.
Descriptive name, sir. Is it always about need? When I first arrived at Zero Station, no one trusted me. I was the human Imperial who must have been a spy. But I learned my way around. And once the Chiss accepted my competence, it was easy to make friends.
Not all your marks will be as pleasant as the Chiss.
So suppose we're separated during an operation against pirates, say. How does your hand-trained operative play it?
You blend into the background and wait for an opportunity. Don't stir the pot unless you know what you're in for.
I'll happily leave that to you, then. I don't know what you think of my potential, sir, but I do appreciate your guidance. I've been deceiving people like an amateur for years. Time I started doing it right.
I don't know what that says about you, that you want to learn how to deceive people. He seems a bit... I don't want to say innocent, naive to get into the intelligence business as an operative. She's eager to learn, though, we'll put it that way.
How can I help you, Ensign?
I have a purely professional question for you, sir, if you don't mind my asking. When you lie to a woman over the course of a mission, make her think you're interested, does it bother you?
Any reason you're professionally interested?
Don't mistake me, I've been involved with plenty of the wrong men, but going in there was always the chance they'd work out. I don't know how I'd handle living one life in the field and another back at home. It must be exhausting.
Don't let the work get in the way. There's room for romance if you want it.
Do you want a woman in your life, sir? Or has experience taught you better?
Have I ever mentioned what a pleasure you are?
It might have come up. For the record, we'd be defying all sorts of military protocols, and I won't be held responsible.
Close partners function best. I wouldn't worry about it.
Understood, sir. Then we have a lot to look forward to.
Honestly, I don't know if I want to follow a relationship yet. Her question kind of caught me off guard, as someone actually asked me that recently as a comment in one of the earlier videos about who I may be romancing as Vaedren here. I know, obviously, Reina Temple is an option. But, I don't know. I guess as an Imperial agent, you have a lot of trust issues. We'll put that on the back burner and have a think about that.
Welcome back, Master. I've just completed a new meal plan for your culinary pleasure.
And of course we have our newest companion.
I have completed analysis of my restraining codes. Although I cannot leave or cause you direct harm, I'm under no obligation to obey your commands.
In other words, you can't kill me, but I have to watch my back.
That is correct. I intend to proceed with my heuristic directive of self-improvement and intelligence upgrades. Cooperate willingly, and I may spare you pain when I am free.
You expect me to let you become more dangerous?
Personal evolution is my primary purpose. This self-iteration is number 973, and there will be more. Do not anger me unnecessarily.
I admit I'd like to see what happens when you learn.
Hope for the privilege. Perhaps you will earn it.
We're gonna have to be very careful with Scorpio, aren't we? Let's see what else she thinks of our situation.
I've learned to access your culture's holographic network. Listen. $18 trillion desperate attempts to communicate per second. I hadn't realized your species were so starved for interaction.
What have you discovered, sifting through those transmissions?
I now understand your frustrations. I look at you and see neurons fire in your brain. I scan your body and know how you taste. But you are blind, alone, and confused.
If you're so far beyond biological creatures, what's the point of analyzing them?
You dominate the galaxy. I am curious, and do not sleep. Our time together has provided new information and sensations. These will prove useful in a future upgrade.
Let's go away slowly. Okay, yeah. I don't even know if I want to bring Scorpio with me on any missions. She is quite openly admitted that even though she cannot personally harm us, she may not be there to watch our back and may just let us get killed to free herself of the restraining code. Great. Either way, we will take a break once again. Thank you all for joining me with even more Star Wars The Old Republic. When we come back, we have another potential lead in the Star Cabal, according to, well, Keeper, who is currently in a coma, it seems. Watcher 3, who was one of the few unaugmented Watchers, is going to look into the data for us and provide a briefing once we arrive. As always, feel free to leave a comment if you so wish, and hopefully I'll see you for even more next time. Until then, no, take care. Bye-bye now.